Hello everyone, this is Vas, and right now the server is down for the Tuesday update, and I am going to do something a little bit different today while I'm waiting for the server. I was going to take this time to actually do some decorating in Planet Coaster. Planet Coaster, I played Roller Coaster Tycoon when I was younger. I still have a copy of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. But when I found out about Planet Coaster and actually saw some YouTube videos, Channel 5 Gaming to be specific, The Sim Supply, actually Fabiliki. These different YouTubers were doing videos on this particular game, Planet Coaster, and I used to love Roller Coaster Tycoon. And when I saw how much decorating that you could do in Planet Coaster, I wanted it immediately. So, Daemora and Ceyarrecks actually got me this for my birthday in June. So, I've been playing around with it a little bit, getting familiar with it. I mean, I had a head start from watching the videos and stuff like that. But, I've started creating things, started playing in some parks, doing some of the career mode and so on. But I was going to play around with that today while we were waiting for the server to update. So let's get started with Planet Coaster. Actually, let me turn that back up. Okay, so there's my little avatar. So I've got the career mode, the sandbox mode, challenge mode. There's tutorials, which I've seen, and you can create your own scenario. That is still too loud. Sorry about that. Okay, so, and there's also the scenario editor where you can create your own scenario where people can have certain challenges that they have to overcome for the park and so on, have a certain park rating, build around an area where you can't build higher than so many feet, can't build lower than so many feet, have the mechanics that don't like their job and they quit every few days, different challenges. And then there's my parks, the ones that I've saved. And I've played a lot of the career mode just so I can get a feel for the different parks and the different items and the look of things. And then I've built in the sandbox. We are going to go into my parks. And let's see, I've got a lot of my parks saved for the career mode, but this one right here, the Phalite, this is one that I have started working in. So we are going to go in there. And yes, I can turn these off, but since I'm still learning things, I would like to have the little tips here for me. Okay, so I'll give you a bird's eye view of the park, if I can remember how to do it. There we go. Okay, you can kind of see the square outline here. So it goes down this way, and these are pre-made areas. So the area around them is basically just scenery. But I do like the fact that it's not like chopped off. You can actually see the area around you, which is very cool. If you want to build a theme park in a snowy area with mountains, the Alpine Park has snowy mountains behind the park, so it automatically adds to your theming. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I finally, after years, jumped into making the Six Flags Over North build. My park entrance is over here. Oh, let me pause this. So the park entrance is over here. I am not very good with controlling the movement in this game, but I'm trying. So they actually come in here. This is where they spawn. They come up to the path, and then I can add from here. Which I'm not going to go over all the different park paths and rides and all that kind of stuff. There's tons and tons of stuff. Main thing I'm going to work on today is the building and scenery and maybe some shops and facilities. Oh, and the soundtrack is addicting. Let's see, settings. I'm hoping you can hear this. It's my first video of Planet Coaster. Well, second, but the first one I didn't get into all this. Whoop, too loud. Okay, so this area over here is what I started working on. The very first thing I started was like a fairy village type thing, and the controls in this are so nice. The fact that you can recolor like 70% to 80% of the items is really handy. And I will show you a bit more details as far as that. But I've got little glowing mushrooms over here. And that door's really not that colorful. I should wonder if I can do something about that door. So this has got 135 objects here. So I'm going to edit the scenery. See, that's the archway. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to just the door. Because the archways are so big. And there's so many of them here. Aha, I got the door. Okay, so it does allow me to recolor the door. Now, you have the presets here, but you can also hit the painter's paddle and select different colors from here in different gradients. So I'm going to go with kind of a bright blue trim and maybe for the door itself, maybe a purple. Okay, and then I'm going to click done, close that out. And let's see, let's change the time of day. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a colorful door. So I've got these trees that I built, which I will show you. I can grab one of these, and there is a duplicate function, which is Control D. There's also duplicate and advanced move. I'm just going to duplicate for now. This is what the trees are made out of. And I'm going to hit escape to get rid of the extra one, because you can duplicate as many as you want. But this is the actual arch, the fairy archway. And then I just did duplicate and advance move. And then down here at the bottom, let me get rid of the time, you can, let me turn that down a little bit more. Okay, so for the advanced move, you can use these different options down here at the bottom. And angle snap is very handy. You can set the angle to snap at 15 and 30 and 45. It depends on the item. I have seen like 10 or 11, something like that. But I've got the angle snap set to 45, and I did duplicate and advance move. So now I can hit the access button, which will allow me, I can move this way, or I can move it this way, which I will move it just to show you. And I'm going to hit escape. And duplicate advance move. Same thing here. I can move it this way so you can put them side by side. And you can move them up and down. Okay. So the other feature is when you're in the advanced move and advanced duplicate move is you can get the roll bars. So basically this green one is a rotate, the red one is a roll, and the blue one is a pitch. You don't have to worry about any problems. Now you can have it, the angle snap off, and you can freely rotate these however you want them. Any way that you want, which is awesome. I'm going to rotate all the different axes so you can see. So you can rotate it however you want. I'm going to cancel, go back into duplicate and advance move, go back to my rotate. I'm going to turn my angle snap on. And what I did is I rotated until it clicked, hit my check, rotate another one, check, rotate again, and check, and then done. So I've got that part right there. Now the next cool feature is the multi-selection. So I can select these right here, which this is actually part of this same building that I've got over here. So it automatically selected that. So what I'm going to do is ungroup scenery. And if I can remember correctly, I should be able to select all these by themselves. Okay, so that's got that building group over there. So if I hold shift and click on these, I can select just the ones that I want for the building, which is those 4 items right there. Okay, so then I can do move selection, and I can move it on the ground wherever I want. There is another feature for snapping or flattening ground, stuff like that, where a lot of the items you can snap automatically when you get close enough to a building. It'll snap sideways on the building, which comes in handy. I'm going to put this one out here, actually. Let's put it right here. And then I'm going to use my selection tool again. I'm going to get away from the other stuff for now. Okay, got the 4, and I'm going to merge those into a scenery group. Now I can do the advanced move, or I can do duplicate, or I can do advanced move and duplicate. I'm going to do advanced move and duplicate. I'm going to do my roll option and still have it at 45 degrees. So I did that. Now I'm going to switch it, and let me get another view. There we go. Bring it down so it looks like the roots are going into the ground. Done with that, so I hit check. Okay, the first 4, I'm going to just use the advanced move, and I'm going to move it up. And move it in a bit. Let's see, should I rotate it a bit? Let's get rid of angle snap on that. But yeah, you can get very, very detailed with this. You can do all kinds of things. I mean, the trunks aren't lined up perfectly, but that's fine. If I wanted to, I could do one archway, flip the other one up, line that up, and then duplicate those 2 and rotate them around each other. So that's one way of doing it. But I just wanted to show you how I did the little fairy trees. And then I added some trees and some flowers and stuff in there. And I added a fountain, which, let's see, if I turn that on, you actually have the water coming out of the fountain, and you can hear the fountain. Well, if the music wasn't so loud. You can actually hear the water. And there's so many different theming aspects. This fountain was custom. This is actually several pieces. The outside is 2 halves. I took one side because it's like a balcony piece, and I recolored it, and then I duplicated and rotated it around, which I can click on it to show you the highlight. Recolored it, duplicate it, flip it around, and then I put 2 other pieces on the inside, this concrete block and then the fountain, which is a separate piece. Okay, pausing the game again. And then there's the little window pieces that I put in, some flowers and bushes and stuff that I put in. And then this is a natural path that I used. There's a couple of different versions of it. So I put that in. And believe it or not, this balcony right here, which I haven't finished, but this balcony, if I can get one of the pieces. Come on. Being able to click things when you're in a big group of things is not easy. So that's the only thing that I wish was different. Because the hitbox for this arch is out. But let's go into our scenery. And not in there. Is it in here? There we go. So let me pull this up so you can see more of it. Those actual pieces right there are which one was it? This one? Yep. Icing pieces. Nope, not that one. That one. They're pieces of icing for like decorating a big cake or something like that, which is really cool. There's so many different things in the game. I mean, you could use it for gingerbread houses. In fact, that's what it is, gingerbread icing. But you can select all these different pre-made pieces, use those in your design, and hit escape because I only want the one. And you can recolor it whatever color you want. So you can make some really cool things, some really nice lettering using these and so on. So let's delete that one. Bring this back down. And the screen is very user-friendly. I do like that. So I've got that part done here. And I've just been playing around with that. I've got this little wooden archway here and put some lights in it. I don't really care for the way the lights turned out. I might change this up. But I was just playing around with it. It's the first thing I created, so. And then I moved on over here and started playing around with my little hobbit holes. Because in the game you can actually, there's an option in the bottom right for terrain, which will allow you to paint the terrain. And these different options are based on the location you checked. If you checked for an alpine build, then that alpine build would give you snow and stuff like that. So that way you would have different painting options. There's also the water options, which there's calm water, rough water, standing water, and dirty water. And the sculpting tools, which it will allow you to sculpt the land. So, and you can change the intensity, the size, all that kind of stuff. And you can select for it to auto paint it, or you can go back and paint it however you want. But like this right here, I raised up the land and did this myself. But you can do however you want. You can adjust the land, and you can adjust the intensity of doing it, and so on. Let's see, let's pull the land up. But yeah, you can make your own mountains, volcanoes, canyons, plateaus, whatever you want for your theme park. You can build inside. Whenever you're building like roller coasters and stuff, you can have it auto terrain, or you can actually go in yourself and do it. Let's see, let me scroll the size down. Rotate around here. But yeah, just moving your mouse through. Make little holes in the ground. Flatten it to surface. Some very nice features. So there's all kinds of things you can do. Let's see, let's turn the size up. And then go to my water tool, and then put in my water so I can make a pond. You can sculpt out a river if you like. Of course, I'm doing this really quickly. And that's what I did over here, is I sculpted out a river and a lake, and have an island out in the middle. Okay, so enough playing around with that. So let's go back to my little hobbit holes, or halfling homes. But yeah, these are little bits and pieces that I built. Let's see, duplicate. You can duplicate the whole thing. It's in that group. So, and you can adjust to add things to the group by edit building. So it's got that piece, and it's got a little grid mark down here. So then you can, I believe it's shift click to add these things to the building, and then click done. And then whenever you duplicate, it will have those pieces. Oh, I grabbed the wrong building. But it'll have those pieces with that item. So let's see, edit building. And let's add this. Come on. There we go. I think that's all in one building now. So done. No, it still added it to the other one. So we'll ungroup those. Now it looks like it's adding it. Add, there we go. Now if I duplicate, yes. So then you can put this in another part. You can hold down, you can press Z and it'll rotate 90 degrees. Or you can hold down Z and it gives you the little rotate bar, so you can rotate however you want. Or you can hold Control and slide it around, which this is not as good. It jumps around quite a bit. And I'm going to hit escape. But yeah, these are just little pieces that I put together to make little hobbit homes. These are dynamite crates that I used for the stairs because I liked the way they looked. And just stuck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there and put some bushes. And I've got this post right here that I'm eventually going to put create a mailbox and put on there. I thought that would be cute. And this back here, this door is actually a barrel stuck into the wall. See, that's the door and that's the barrel behind it. And I forget what this little piece is. And I can't really grab it at this point. I could, but it's going to take some work. Let's zoom back over here. The camera does jump around sometimes. When it goes up underground. I was hoping I could get a view of that item that I use for the door handle. Oh, it's just a lamp. A little lamp that I kind of put in and turned. I forgot already. And then these are just little brick pieces that are crumbling that I twisted and put together. Put some little chimney stacks on the top. So it's not much, but it got the idea going, and I mean, I could always build more. But if you can't tell, my builds are very themed around Everquest 2. Because of the fact that that is the game that I love to play. So, Everquest and Everquest 2. So I've got little Skeleton, miniature version of Skeleton over here, a little fairy village. And then over here is little hobbit holes, halfling homes, from basically Everquest 2. Bobbleshire, if you think about it. And then this is my latest project, which I have really enjoyed doing. I made a druid ring. I've got different pieces of stone that I've put together, and I've added vines and stuff like that to it. Have it where they're all broken up and they're falling down, collapsing, and so on. And of course, the druid rings always have the bush in the middle. So I put the bush in the middle. And then I've got lots and lots of different trees and plants and rocks, stones all the way around it. Some dying trees and some branches and so on. Added some color. But yep, this is the latest thing I did, and it didn't take very long at all. mainly because of the duplicate functions and the advanced move functions, which we really need in Everquest 2. It would make building and decorating so much easier over there. So there is my druid rings. That is the last thing I built. But yeah, there's tons of different things in the scenery. I'm going to get rid of my filter. Yeah, the search function is a lot better, but you have to kind of know the names of things. But yeah, there's all kinds of things in here. Different little pieces that you can put together. Ancient carved. Let's zoom in. And a little snake. Right, there's all these different types. Alligator. But you can put all these different pieces together to create different buildings and stuff. And lots of different pirate themes. And I have, let's see, some blueprints. You can save your work as blueprints. So, let's see, my blueprints. So I'll show you this one. I don't know why it's in there. It's not my blueprint. It's someone else's blueprint, but it is in there. It's cool. It's one of the people I subscribe to. I'll show it to you. But it's little acorn houses. Let's see, can I move it down? Down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, sync me to there, but I'm kinda on a hill. That one's by itself, so that'll work. Okay, I'm gonna sync that one to there, and then I'm gonna go in here and see if I can grab just that sign. Let's see, western sign, yep, and delete just the sign. And a lot of people do that just to be helpful, so you know how far to put it down into the ground. I love that idea. If you watch some of the videos, you would totally understand, because you can save the work that you did and you can upload it to the gallery, and then people can download it from the gallery and put it in their parks. So if you build a really awesome coaster with tons of buildings and stuff, you can upload it to your gallery, and people can go and subscribe to your gallery, and they can download the things from your gallery and use them in game for their parks and play around with them in their parks, which I just love that. That's something that Everquest 2 had started talking about, with being able to decorate houses and then being able to put those up for sale, but it never came about. So maybe in the future it will, but there's still some things that they need to improve on in Everquest 2. That game will be around for another 20 years if they could do some of the things that they've done in other games like Planet Coaster, with the tools, the different tools that you can use, the rotate and all that. If they could add that, the duplicate and advance move, and being able to upload to a gallery, that would be really nice. Sorry, I need to grab some coffee there. Let me delete that sign. There we go. and done editing. So yeah, somebody made this cute little acorn houses, but they're so cute. They got little lily pads in there, which is part of the theming of the game, and all the shrubbery. And if I remember correctly, these are all boards. Yeah. Let's duplicate this. That's what that is. They took these boards and angled them and made this. That is so cool. And something we don't have in Everquest 2. Undo button. And escape we do have. It will stop us and put it back. But they've got the little ivies growing up, which there's different versions of the ivies. A skinny one, a fatter one at the bottom, a big bulky one. There's all different kinds of versions. But yeah, they did a really good job at this. But back to my blueprints. Let me go over this way on the other side of the lake. So while I was working, there's my Druid's Grove. While I was working on some of the career mode, I needed to put in some shops and stuff, and I just didn't want to place down a shop, which I'll show you what that looks like. Out of blueprint, go into custom. These are the different shops. Cosmic Cow Ice Cream. That's what the building looks like, which is very, very plain Jane. I mean, they're different color coded based on what they are. Chief Beef, which is burgers. Mystic Cow, which is milkshakes. Their own Planet Coaster theme. But there's all kinds of different first aid. All different kinds of buildings, but they're very plain Jane. So what I did is I went through and I made some buildings with shops built in. Let's see, let me bring this down to the ground here. So inside here, I've got 3 different shops. I think one's a pizza pen, one's a burger shop, and one's a hot dog shop, if I remember correctly. But this right here is a piece of pathway. So you can run your pathway up to this door and connect it there. And you can also run it to this door over here and connect it to there. And then I built basically a castle, a little small castle eatery. It's got a little walkway across the top. You could add to it. You can have little men up at the top marching and stuff like that, or cannons. Here's some of the ivy that I was talking about earlier. And then the front here, these, let's see, edit, viola flowers. I am going to duplicate. So that's what those are. And when you get them close to the wall, if you have that aligned a surface, it will put it on the actual wall. It'll align it to that surface. So that's pretty much what I did. And it keeps it on your cursor when you place it. So if you wanted to place a bunch more really quickly, you can do that. But you can also change the color of this, which we need in Everquest too, being able to go through and change the colors of things. Yep, it's a little bulky, but I can use the advanced move and sink it into the wall. Hit the check mark, done. Very quick and easy. And there are some other types of flowers that you can use. I just really liked those flowers, and it looks like bunches are growing out at a certain spot. And on the inside, I've got this little area here, so if you wanted to, you could go and add, it's got a curved wall, so you could add maybe a ATM, or let's see, maybe a vending machine. Who gets sushi out of a vending machine? But yeah, there's vending machines. You could add vending machines. So if you had all the food here and then you wanted to add a milkshake or gulpy energy drink vending machine, you could do that over on the side. I left that up to you. And oh yeah, and then on the inside, I use the archways, and this is the curved wall piece, and I just flipped one around and sunk it down and then filled it full of flowers and baskets. Let's see, yeah, window box plain small, which I will duplicate to show you. That's what it looks like. And I just sunk those down in there. And then I recolored, oops, let me get rid of that. And I recolored the flowers so that it's got some different layers of coloring there. So that's one of the parts that I built for a Princess Castle part, basically. That was part of the career mode. And let's see, my blueprints. There's Chief Beef and Cosmic Cow. And this one is basically a Mediterranean theme. Could kind of be, I've got that sunk down a little bit, but the ground isn't flat, so I could always rotate the whole group. Let's see, select it all. Advanced move. Let's switch to, oh, it won't let me rotate. But what I could do is move it out to a more flat piece of land. There we go. But yeah, I just moved a whole building in a matter of a moment. So these right here are the shops. Those open up, but there's a Chief Beef on this side and a Cosmic Cow milkshakes on the other side. And it goes good with a Mediterranean themed park or pirate, something like that. In the little village area, a Spanish theme. we go. And of course this is just a facade at the top. Those are not actual rooms, but put a little house at the top of it and the market's on the bottom. And there's a space in here that you could put a picnic table or a vending machine or ATM, or you could add another shop if you wanted to. You can just put one of these wall pieces, which is one of these. You can put one of these wall pieces in here, and when you add it to the building, it'll snap into place, and put a shop in there and have another shop. It's up to you. But this is one of the blueprints I created, so I could reuse it again in other areas of parks and other parks and so on. And then let's see, let's close out of there. So I've got those two blueprints and my Druid's Grove so far. But I figured as I go I can create blueprints and upload them. You can, the cool thing is you can add them to a favorite by clicking on the star. That way they're going to be at the top all the time. If you have a bunch of blueprints, they'll just be at the top. You can upload them to the Steam Workshop, which is what I was talking about, and it will put it on there under your Steam account. That way people can go to your Steam account and download and subscribe and so on. But yeah, just giving you a little bit of a rundown of things that I've done in Planet Coaster so far. Not a whole lot, but I haven't had the game but a few weeks and just been playing around with it a little bit off and on. But I've been mainly working in Everquest 2 doing my Six Flags Over Norath build. So, and I will probably be back into that later on. I'm going to call this the end of the video for Planet Coaster for now. Maybe do another one if the game is not uploaded yet. But I will catch you guys later.